Hey, Presby family, Pastor Andrew here. I hope that you're having a great day. I want to check in with you today with a devotional from the book of Ruth. As you know, we've been working our way through the book of Ruth on Sunday mornings. This past Sunday, we looked at Ruth chapter 2, where Ruth, who has arrived in Bethlehem with her mother-in-law Naomi, goes to work in the fields of a man named Boaz. She had a great first day, and when she returned to Naomi that evening, she brought home 30 to 40 pounds of grain. Naomi asked, "Wow, where did you get this? Who was so kind to you that you were able to get this much?" And Ruth told her that she had worked in the fields of a man named Boaz. What Ruth didn't know was the fact that Boaz was actually a relative of Naomi's family. But Naomi let her know this. Naomi's response when she got this news in Ruth 2, verse 20 and following was, "The Lord bless him. He has not stopped showing kindness to the living and the dead." And then she added, "That man, Boaz, is our close relative. He is one of our guardian redeemers." This word guardian redeemer or kinsman redeemer, depending on your translation of the Bible, comes from the Hebrew word goel. And goel or guardian redeemer was a family function that a relative could play during a time of need. And according to the Jewish law, there were 4 different responsibilities of this family member, this guardian redeemer, when members of the family would find themselves in hard situations. One thing that a goel would be expected to do is if a family member, if someone in that family ended up in difficult times, and they ended up in debt to another person, and as a result of that debt, had to pay it off by working as an indentured worker, it was the responsibility of the guardian redeemer to pay that debt and set that person free. A second responsibility of the guardian redeemer was that if someone had to sell their family's ancestral land in order to pay for expenses or pay off other debts, it was the responsibility of the guardian redeemer to buy that field back so that that land, that inheritance, could remain in the family for generations to come. A third responsibility of the guardian redeemer was if someone in the family ended up being harmed or murdered by another person, the justice system included that guardian redeemer being the person who would pursue and carry out justice against that murderer or that wrongdoer. And then the final responsibility of the guardian redeemer was if someone in the family passed away and left a widow behind but no children to carry on the family name, then it would be the duty of the guardian redeemer to marry the widow and to produce children who would then carry on the name of that deceased relative. And these are just 4 functions of that guardian redeemer, and it tells us a few things. One is it shows us a little bit of the heart of God, that our God is a God of love and he's a God of justice. And in fact, his justice is part of the way that he shows love for people. And we see that in these responsibilities, we speak of justice here, both in terms of punishing the wrongdoers and in terms of providing opportunity, of making sure that the rights of each person were honored and respected. And so this reminds us today of how important justice is to God and how vast and how comprehensive justice can be. That if we love justice, we want to see the law carried out rightly. We want to see criminals being brought to justice, but even more so, we want to see opportunity for those who are worthy of it. We want to make sure that those who are at a disadvantage are able to get their just rights. Another important thing that this shows us when it comes to the heart of God is his heart for us. Because in the book of Ruth, we see as we look at the following chapters that this guardian redeemer comes to Ruth and Naomi's rescue. This points us in the bigger story of Scripture to Jesus Christ, who serves as our guardian redeemer. He is the one who pledges himself to pay our debt. He is the one who secures a lasting inheritance for us. He is the one who takes us, broken and flawed as we are, as his bride, the church. And he is the one who will achieve justice for us. And so as we ponder the book of Ruth in the weeks ahead, let us also ponder the great and glorious mystery of God's love for us. And let us also celebrate all that God has done for us through Jesus Christ, who is our Redeemer. And so, friends, my hope and my prayer for you this afternoon is that you will draw closer to Jesus Christ, that you will thank him for the way that he is your defender and your deliverer, and that in his name you also will go forth and bring joy to those around you by being champions of his love, of his grace, and of his justice. Have a wonderful afternoon.